Tonight, the Pittsburgh Pirates return home for a 7-game homestand. And at his new home is Chris Snyder, Pirates catcher. Scott Bonnet, the Pirates clubhouse manager, helping him with his luggage and his equipment as he arrived late this afternoon. The former Arizona Diamondbacks backstop now calling PNC Park his home. And the Pirates are hosting the surprising Cincinnati Reds to start a 3-game series against the Redlegs, who are in second place in the National League Central Division. One of the surprise teams in baseball. Greg Brown and Steve Blass are with you. And now with us, Chris Snyder, and also James McDonald has arrived, the pitcher the Pirates got in the Octavio Dotel deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Steve.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be much of a transition for Chris Snyder. He's been around the big leagues, so he should be accomplished. I think the biggest challenge for him is going to be hitting, because I think he'll be comfortable in the back of the plate with Ross Ollendorf. They've had a chance to sit down and meet. They've talked things over. And so these guys are going to be in uniform, new faces and new places.
McDonald, by the way, will make his first Pirate start on Thursday. Chris Snyder, as you say, Steve, his game has been defense. He has admitted that. But the Pirates will point out that Neil Huntington and others have said, if you look at his on-base percentage plus slugging, that OPS, one of the tops in baseball over the last couple of years. He's working tonight with a former member of the Diamondbacks organization, Ross Ollendorf. And isn't it great to see Ole back on the hill after getting hit by that Troy Tulowitzki line drive on the last road trip?
Absolutely. The scariest thing in baseball is when a pitcher gets hit in the head. That ball gets back so fast, so hard. Any way you look at it, it is a scary, scary moment. But after you realize you're okay, the trainer comes out. You're going to give him a little wry smile, but they checked him out physically. He should be okay. Emotionally, mentally, we'll have to wait and see. And
how about Travis Wood?
Travis Wood has been sensational as he joins this young, very impressive Cincinnati Reds starting rotation. He has done nothing but very, very good for the Reds. Ross Ollendorf, he has been quite good in 4 of his last 5 starts before that accident.
It's Ross Ollendorf returning from that accident against lefty rookie Travis Wood. The Pirates and Reds playing Game 1 of their 3-game series coming up next. And 47 on the season, a half game back of the Cardinals in the National League Central Division. And here is Dusty Baker's Reds lineup, they have the best offense in the league. Brought to you by Toyota moving forward. Last 5 games for Brendan Phillips, a .348 average. Orlando Cabrera hits second, then Miguel Cairo. Scott Rowland hits cleanup. Johnny Gomes in left. Jay Bruce is the right fielder. Chris Heisey in center. Brian Hannigan the catcher, and Travis Wood is on the mound. And you see one big name out of that lineup, Joey Votto. Leads the league in hitting, home runs, and he's 4th in RBIs. He has a slight wrist injury, and Dusty Baker gives him the night off. Thank you very much.
Ross Ollendorf making start number 17. As I said, that last game notwithstanding, 4 of his last 5 starts have been quality starts. A couple of zeros, a 1 and a 2. So he's throwing the ball much better than the 1 and 8 record would indicate. I know that's a cliche, but that's the truth. He has been throwing the ball a lot better. So he'll make his 4th career start against the Cincinnati Reds. 1.8, 4.35 ERA. Will there be a carryover from that line drive that hit him in the head? You just don't know. We'll see how he responds. I don't expect him to respond in a negative fashion, but you have to wait and see. You have to get him past this first batter or two.
Well, he sure didn't act like it, Steve, that night. I mean, he even lobbied to try and stay in the ball game. But as you say, you can only hope, cross your fingers, and see how it goes. There's no way to tell for sure. Ross Ollendorf. Line drive off the bat of Troy Tulowitzki. Brandon Phillips tries to bunt his way on. Phillips leads the league with 36 runs scored. This is a very potent offense and a breaking ball that didn't break, and Phillips offered. It's 0-2.
That might have surprised him, really, because that ball was upstairs. You either take it or you pound it a long way. Usually you take it, but he might have just gotten tempted by the fact it wasn't thrown real hard.
He's kind of laughing about it. 0-2 count. Swing and a foul ball. Skips into the dirt and back to the backstop. Doug Eddings is calling the balls and strikes. He's behind the plate. The crew chief is Dana DeMuth. He's at first. At second, it's Angel Campos. And C.B. Buckner is at third. 0-2 count on Brandon Phillips.
Good try. Good try on the break. Greg, I'll make my first comment of the night. Whenever I saw a batter up there laughing, the next pitch had a chance to get him. Just because you think this is light stuff, yeah. I'm out here trying to make a living. I don't care what you're laughing at.
I like your thought process, Steve. I like it. That's a great call. That's a fastball that missed 2-2. It's in other words, you're laughing.
This is lighthearted. Yeah, this is fun for you.
You missed that ball and you should have driven it 500 feet, right?
Yeah, and you're having a good time out here laughing.
Chris Snyder, first start tonight, and now 3-2 as Ollendorf had jumped out ahead 0-2 on Brandon Phillips.
And Ross has had pretty good control this year. 16 starts, just 34 walks. That's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. I like the fact that before last start, I saw a bunch of good starts. Let me see if he can pick up a W. He deserves something. He deserves a little offensive support, too.
And leadoff walk to Brandon Phillips. Pirates defense behind Ross Ollendorf. Jose Tabata, Andrew McCutcheon, Lastings Village in the outfield left to right. Andy LaRoche, his first start at third base since June 27th. Ronnie Cedeno at short, Neil Walker at second with Garrett Jones at first, and Chris Snyder catches Ross Ollendorf.
And will they test him right away with a running game? Because they can run. Brandon Phillips, not a great percentage. He's tried it 20 times. He's been successful 12 out of the 20. Pirates have had a lot of people running on them, but Ross has been decent in terms of quickness to first base.
Snyder has had that reputation. It's one of the main reasons the Pirates brought him over here in that trade. Orlando Cabrera signed over the winter, and he has been a very, very solid sign by Walt Jocketty and the Reds, the veteran shortstop. And this fastball misses, and he falls behind 2-0. Ollendorf 35 walks in 83 innings. and now falls behind 3-0. The fastball was high to Cabrera.
Well, Chris Snyder is going to be just like any other major league catcher. He is going to throw well to second base if he gets help from the pitchers. We've gone chapter and verse over that subject, so I won't beat it into the ground. But if Ross helps him, he will throw runners out. Simple as that.
Eric Kratz stays on the roster for now. Ryan Domit is starting his rehab, and Jason Jaramillo back down to the minors. And ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. He started out ahead of Phillips 0-2 and hasn't thrown a strike since.
Now, is that being gun shy from that line drive back that hit him in the head? I don't think so, but you have no way of knowing. It could be. I think it's less than 10% chance of that. I think he's just kind of getting his feet on the ground here in the first inning.
Well, Steve, he gets, again, it's a huge break that Dusty Baker decides to rest Joey Votto. Paul Mahalem, all well aware of what it's like to have a line drive come back at you. He was in the minor leagues and had to have his face essentially reconstructed. Very close to killing him, that line drive, a handful of years ago. A horrific accident. Paul Mahalem bounced back from that. And to take nothing away from Miguel Cairo, the veteran, as the strike is called. He's hitting .299 with 3 homers, 19 RBIs. But again,
he ain't Joey.
Joey Votto, a left-hand hitter, leads the league in hitting. He leads the league in home runs. He has driven in 72 runs, which is tied for 4th most in the league. He leads the league in on-base percentage, slugging percentage. I mean, it's gigantic that he's not in the lineup. Nobody covering on that inside move from Ohlendorf. The shortstop Cedeno and the second baseman Walker don't budge. They're fairly close to second.
Well, when a guy that can steal bases is out there at second and the pitcher is struggling in the first inning, there are occasions when that pitcher will get careless with the runner trying to concentrate on throwing some strikes.
Popped up over by the Reds dugout. You just saw Joey Votto resting that sore wrist. And he's one of the big reasons why the Reds are where they are. No question about that. You see the league leaders in batting. The Reds have collectively hit .271, which is tops in the league. They've scored more runs than anybody. Second in the majors behind only the Twins. They've collected more hits. They're second in homers.
Well, they're you can go up and down the line. They're first in defense, and their pitching in the last month has been spectacular. And they're only 9th, but you realize where they were before they made this good pitching push.
You actually talk to the Reds people, and they'll say, yeah, our offense is good, but the reason we are where we are is that pitching.
Yep.
Reds a half game back, and they begin a stretch of 9 straight games against National League Central Division opponents. 3 here with the Bucks.
You know, they keep track of everything too, Greg. They're talking about the Reds in terms of contenders having the easiest schedule from here on in. They speculate on who they're playing, what the records are, and not that it's going to be easy, but that's what they're talking about.
Again, Phillips gets back. After this series here at PNC Park, the Reds will go back home and host, or rather visit the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley for 3, and then host the Cardinals in a 3-game series. A line drive, base hit to left center field. Runner will be waved home, and Tabata will get the ball into the infield. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Phillips scores on the base hit by Cairo.
So they still get production from their first baseman, even though it's not Votto. Miguel Cairo's been around a long time. Goes down and gets that ball. Good bit of hitting. Good at bat for the Cincinnati first baseman.
Phillips scores his 77th run to lead the league.
It's not easy when you walk the first 2 batters of the ball game to escape. You might escape every once in a while, but you don't always.
And now it's Scott Rowland. Rowland with 18 home runs, 62 RBIs. He is second in the league in slugging.
Why? with a guy this old, he's healthy.
It was a pickup last year that really raised eyebrows for a Reds team that didn't look like it was going anywhere last year or in the very near future. But Walt Jocketty knew about the character of this guy, both with the St. Louis Cardinals, Jocketty the GM there, and Rolen spending some time, of course, in St. Louis.
Missed a little time because of a hamstring right after the All-Star break, but he's back in there. Good numbers all around for Scott Rolen. And obviously his great career numbers.
1 ball, 1 strike to count on Scott Rolen. 5-time National League All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove Award winner.
Grizzled veteran now. Remember when he was an outstanding young rookie player with the Phillies?
Like I said, 5-time All-Star. Made the All-Star team for the 6th time this year. Now 35 years old, from Jasper, Indiana. Blue Jays got him in the Edwin Encarnacion. The Pirate, one of these teams, the Reds got him. The Reds got him in the Blue Jays deal for Edwin Encarnacion. A deadline trade, July 31st last year. And he goes down swinging on a breaking ball. Talking about last year, and people figured, hey, the Reds aren't going anywhere for quite some time. Take a look, the big Red improvement comparing where they were last year at this time. The rankings in the National League had gone from 14th out of 16 National League clubs to 1st in terms of runs. They're 1st in hits, batting, 2nd in homers. They're 9th in ERA, 13th last year. And the saves.
That's the impressive thing to me.
I think that comes with more opportunities. Francisco Cordero, I don't think is any better than he was last year. Their closer. They're getting more opportunities for saves this year. Dusty Baker's club leading more often now in the 9th. Joey Votto. 1 ball, no strikes on Johnny Gomes. He's having a fine season. And the bullpen overall since the All-Star break, the best in baseball.
Yep, saves mean wins. More saves, more wins.
Arthur Rhodes, an All-Star for the first time. He's been huge, the veteran lefty.
The ageless Arthur Rhodes.
Off of Ollendorf to the first baseman, and Jones, quick work to get the out. But how hard was Ollendorf hit on the leg?
They smile. He's happy. It didn't hit him in the head.
Out they come.
Play going 1-3. 1.
Back of the knee, maybe?
Yeah, he gets the good bounce. Maybe just above the knee, off the thigh there. You're going to have to hit him harder on the body to hurt him than that.
Garrett Jones makes the play with quick footwork there to get Gomes. And then he looks to make sure that Cabrera isn't breaking from third. The runners move up 90 feet. Ollendorf being checked out there by Brad Henderson.
Well, the thing is, that'll make him forget about his head. His knee hurts. The biggest concern, as you take a look at it again, is that it doesn't just lock up. He gets a stinger and it just seizes up on him. The thing is, I've been hit on the elbow and around the elbow. If you're hit on a bone, you either break it or you're going to be okay. It doesn't bruise. You hit it on the tissue, then you got a chance to lose some time because you get the bruising and the contusions and the confusions and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, contusions and confusions.
I don't see any hesitancy in his motion and in his mechanics.
He really does seem to be a guy that can disregard it. He really does. Jay Bruce, 10 homers, 41 runs batted in. Second and third, 2 outs. Ollendorf and the Pirates will consider it a victory if they limit the Reds to 1 run.
92-mile-an-hour fastball delivered. It's up in his good range.
Anytime a player is hit in the head, I guess the first thing baseball fans think about is Gil McDougald and Herb Score.
Yep, I was listening to that game in Connecticut when they did that.
It was May 7th, 1957. The Yankees' Gil McDougald hits Herb Score of the Indians flush in the right eye at Municipal Stadium. And many believe that though Score would go on to pitch after that he was never the same.
And he was going to be the phenom. I was an Indians fan. I followed him all the way up, and I was listening to that game. The first guy to the mound was Rocky Colavito, his right fielder. They were buddies. They came up through the system together. He was a phenom. I mean, a phenom.
He was the Rookie of the Year in 1955 after he went 16-10. And again, he was hit by that McDougald line drive in 57. He would return in late 58. And some who followed Herb Score said, Steve, that he started to change his delivery, his motion because of that. He would dispute that. And Ole gets Bruce. So he does limit the damage to the 1 run. And after a half inning, the Reds lead 1-0, and the Pirates come to bat. Like this, Andrew McCutchen, Jose Tabata, Neil Walker, 1-2-3. Garrett Jones is the cleanup. By the way, last 15 games, Neil Walker hitting at a .377 clip. After Garrett Jones, it's Chris Snyder making his first Pirate start. Lastings Village in right. Andy LaRoche returns to make his start. He's at third. Then Ronnie Cedeno and Ross Ollendorf. Pedro Alvarez, the left-hand hitter who's been struggling, gets a night off. McCutchen rocks. That's the way a lot of people think in this town. Andrew McCutchen.
Let's get him to rock and roll against this youngster, Travis Wood, just 23 years old, out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Not all that big, 5'11", 163, but he's done a big job since being recalled July 1st. Last time out, picked up his first major league win at Milwaukee. I'll tell you more about him as we go along.
Ball 1 on Andrew McCutchen. Hitting just 171 against the Reds. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Now, you don't expect this young man, who we've not seen, to be a flamethrower at 5'11", 163. But, you look at Billy Wagner, you don't think 100 miles an hour either, so stay tuned.
about that near perfect game, huh?
What, retired the first 24 batters July 10th, 10 days after he was called up from the minor leagues, and it wound up being an extra inning game, so he came away with no decision. But phenomenal way to begin your major league career.
Of course, he was facing Roy Halladay, who was pitching a shutout, so it was 0-0. The Reds would end up falling in 11, 1-0, July the 10th.
A standoff with
the Doc.
With Doc Halladay is pretty good stuff as a youngster.
Fly ball hit well to right field. Bruce is back, warning track wall, and makes the catch. Travis Wood.
July 10th. Carlos Ruiz breaks it up after all this good stuff. There's the Ruiz double, clean, breaks it up, but high fives all around, well deserved. Six starts, he's given up 3 home runs.
And Steve, you look at the young starters that they have on this team, this Reds team, with Travis Wood, with Mike Leake, with what he has done.
Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, though Cueto certainly not a rookie, but not a grizzled veteran either.
Part of the youngsters, he looks young enough to be a rookie.
10-2 is Cueto. Jose Tabata riding a 12-game hitting streak. He is our PNC achievement for the achiever in us all. A 12-game streak, hitting 400 during this stretch. Buzz around the press box before the game late this afternoon. People wanting to know, what about this guy? Is he for real? A nice play there and a hard-hit ground ball stabbed by Travis Wood to retire Tabata.
Comfortable one hopper back to the mound. 1, 2, and there you go. A little flyer.
And now Neil Walker. Hitting .301 with 5 homers, 26 runs batted in. .264 average from this side of the plate. He made his major league debut against the Reds in Cincinnati September 1st last year. And he was robbed of a hit by Brandon Phillips. His first big league at bat as a pinch hitter. One ball, one strike on Walker. Ohlendorf take a breather here. Hopefully Walker extends this at bat. Here's the play. So Walker would come to bat, family on hand. Looks like a hit. No. The Gold Glover.
It's all right. He's caught up since.
And he hits a fly ball that slices toward the seats. Cairo and Bruce give chase. Two and two.
Wood built a little bit along the lines of Jamie Moyer, perhaps. Throws a little harder.
That's a hard hit ball to left. 2-out single for Neil Walker.
3 Pirate batters so far. Both were 2 out of the 3 hitting the ball on the button. McCutchen hit the ball well, but it was caught on the warning track. This ball blistered to left field.
Neil Walker hitting over 400 his last 15 games. That's 24 hits for him since the All-Star break. The top 5 in the National League. Garrett Jones takes ball 1. Barrel Automotive League leaders, most hits in the league since the All-Star break. Jose Tabata and Starlin Castro the most with 27. Neil Walker third with Aubrey Huff and Justin Upton. Orlando Cabrera is up there too. Strike on Garrett Jones. Opposition is batting just $190 against Travis Wood. Lefties, he's doing even better against them. No surprise. 167 are left-hand hitters against this rookie.
Talking to some of the Cincinnati folks about this young man, they say he has moxie. No, they didn't say that. I wanted to use that word.
But why? Why did you want to use that word tonight, of all words, Steve?
I don't think it's, as a color guy, I don't think I have to answer that question.
All right.
Moxie. He got resolve. He got attitude. He's got an edge to him.
Boy, oh boy. I will ask no more questions. What Steve's been doing since we've been out of town.
Well, you think you had a rough time in St. Louis. I had a high school reunion.
Well, that's
nothing,
what it is.
What you had was nothing.
I see.
What I went through.
Where was the reunion? Up in Connecticut?
Up in Connecticut. 50-year reunion. Went well. Had a good time.
A lot of people there?
Small town high school.
Those that were there had a lot of moxie, I bet.
You did have a long weekend in St. Louis, didn't you?
It was a long road trip. First two games weren't bad. The wins in Denver. But then things got a little rough.
My weekend escalated as the evening wore on.
Very nice.
Yes.
I bet it did. And off this pitcher, Travis Wood. But he recovers and throws on to get Garrett Jones. So early on here, ball is headed up the middle, and the Reds lead 1-0.
.com. Definitely worth the click. By your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. And by your Western PA Honda dealer.
A 1-0 lead for the Cincinnati Reds here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh into the second inning.
Greg, I got a theory about the top of the first inning.
Yeah, go ahead. Boy. Go ahead, Steve.
Work out that whatever it was. My theory was that Ross Ollendorf went out there not quite sure in his own mind how it was going to be. A little tentative, perhaps, a couple of walks, base hit, and that's it. And then I'm all right. I'm okay. Strikeout, bounce out, strikeout.
So you think maybe from now on?
He was kind of wondered, I think, and he convinced himself I'm okay.
Hopefully he settles
I'm all right.
now.
Nobody need to worry about me. Why you got to
Why don't you just let me be? Kenny Loggins. Those lyrics.
Yeah, a little Caddyshack stuff.
Yeah. New pitcher, James McDonald, has arrived from the Dodgers, and talking to a former Dodger, Delwyn Young. McDonald will make his Pirates debut on Thursday. Daniel McCutchen goes to the bullpen. And again, Ollendorf trouble with that curveball.
That kind of trouble with a curveball is when you get the body out in front, the arm can never catch up and has to leave the ball high.
Fastball fouled back. Still 2-2 on Heisey. Chris Heisey. All got a piece of Chris Snyder.
You got a lot of contact here going on.
A lot of stuff.
Balls hit back the pitcher. Shots off the catcher.
Still 2-2 on the rookie Chris Heisey, who's had some big hits.
Where's he from?
Central PA.
Central
Pennsylvania.
Native.
To Messiah College. He and his wife live in Mechanicsburg, PA, as a matter of fact. And I got scolded, by the way, the last time they were in town. I got scolded by some family and friends from Mechanicsburg. Said, you didn't pump up your town enough. The great part of the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Well, here's your chance to do it. You got a guy that's a native there. It's all justified.
I just did.
You can spew. And
I won't go as far as you do with Connecticut, but I will say that
Hoodoo,
Mechanicsburg, PA, one of the best areas of the country, beautiful part of the state.
Rolling farmland.
And a rip to left by Heisey. Carries over the head of Tabata. Chris Heisey, a leadoff double.
And nothing real cheap about this one. It's really keeping your body compact. Doesn't get the front leg out in front, so he has nothing left to drive with. He just kind of held his ground and put a charge in it.
Heisey making his 18th start of the season. His third double. He's there for Ryan Hannigan.
And here once again is the beauty of the National League. Without the DH, you've got a number 8 man. You get him, then you get the pitcher. Good chance to leave that man at second base. DH complicates that whole thing. It's part of the strategy, the workings of a pitcher, working a ball game, working the opposing batting order.
Falls behind Hannigan 2-0.
On the other hand, if you don't get him, you just open the door for the pitcher to be able to sacrifice.
So laboring.
If you want to escape, this is your key man right here. Get rid of the DH. Send it to Mechanicsburg.
Send it to Falls Village.
Send it somewhere.
I know Judy and John Thomas from Mechanicsburg, PA, tune in most nights, get to a lot of games.
Special hello to them.
Yep. Three and one. Pitches thrown by Ollendorf. Walked the first 2 batters of the game.
Yep, that's all right. He's strong. He only threw a few last time out. A fool.
That's cracked to center, but McCutcheon will be there. Under at second, Heisey will tag. Throw comes toward third, and strong throw from McCutcheon to make it a close play. Testing that shoulder.
Gets in the position for the throw. Andrew does everything correctly. Maybe got the ball, maybe might have been able to get the ball more over the shoulder, over the throwing shoulder when he caught the ball. You catch it out there with a glove, you got to still bring it back to the throwing hand. So you might be able to dress that up a little bit, but other than that, it's a good effort.
Well, this is the part of the lineup you talked about, Steve. You got to get this man.
Yep.
With the infield in.
Young man up there, he's had one sacrifice bunt, so of course that's out of the equation, but he'll look down at Coach Barry at third base. Yeah, the squeeze play is a possibility, but with a youngster, there's a lot going on. Sometimes they'll get a little jumpy. The pitcher's throwing, the guy's running in. There's a lot of action, and sometimes you don't want to take a chance on him bunting through the ball and having your guy at third base run into an out.
Tap to short. That will not do the trick.
Okay, that's phase two. The key man was to come back and get Hannigan. Now he's in a position to not allow this leadoff double to come around and score.
Faces Brandon Phillips. Phillips is 1 for 10 in his career against Ohlendorf. He walked to start the ball game. It's the third base on balls he's received from Ohlendorf in his career. Phillips made the All-Star team for the first time this year. Last 5 games, Phillips batting at a .350 pace.
You saw that breaking ball down in the dirt, and Chris Snyder back there, he's a big man, so there's a lot of body there to get in front of balls that bounce in front of him. Nothing wrong with the fastball from Ross tonight. That one 93 miles an hour.
Chris Snyder, 6'4", 245 pounds, 29 years old, over from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona selected Snyder in the amateur draft, and of course they also selected Ross Ohlendorf. Ohlendorf was a 4th-round pick in 2004 by the Diamondbacks. 2 years earlier, they had selected Snyder in the 2nd round. Asked Ohlendorf the other day if he knew much of Snyder. He said no, that we did not play together in the minor leagues. 3-1 the count.
Now Ross is running up that pitch count, and with all these moves, you feel so good about Hanrahan and Meek, but what about those middle innings that you're going to have to account for? And if you've got a 5-inning starter, well, you're talking about 2 of those innings in the middle of the ball game that well, we're quite shaky with, to be quite honest right now.
3-1 is going to be popped up and going to be drift out of play. We talked to Neil Huntington about that very subject yesterday, and he admitted that there is concern that you take the veterans that they did out of the equation, Carrasco, Dotel, and Lopez, and well, you have to fill that bullpen now with 3 inexperienced players.
Donnelly too, if you go back far enough.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know how you repair that? You get your starters to go further.
Exactly.
Or you get those guys that are now out there, sitting there, to be good, pick up their game. So, I mean, you can't whine about it. You can't cry about it. Somebody's got to get better. And that's how you fix it. Simple.
But first things first, going back to what you said, which is what he said, we need our starters to go longer. They've got to do a better job.
That corrects the situation.
And that corrects a whole lot of things. The Pirates starting pitchers have got to step it up. We've been talking about it since opening day.
Well, you know, they've got us so numb sometimes.
Yep.
And through the last several years, let's be honest, with 5-inning starts. I mean, so now we're comfortable with 6, and you shouldn't be comfortable with 6-inning starts.
Set the bar higher than that.
Exactly.
6 inning, the quality start, you and I have talked about this so often, Steve. The quality start's the worst thing that anybody could have mentioned.
Well,
20 years ago.
Ranks right up there with pitch count and speed.
So people are satisfied with 6 innings.
And then I know the times have changed. It used to be some of our goals were 7 innings and 2 runs. 7 innings, 3 runs. To me, I can live with that quality. I'm calling that a quality start.
Ball 4. And now he'll face Orlando Cabrera. And out comes the pitching coach, Joe Kerrigan, who is as frustrated as anybody, I'm sure, about the pitching as a whole. This Pirates team ERA of 5.06 is second worst in the league, behind only the Diamondbacks. Hey, don't forget, all tickets purchased today through Sunday, the Pirates are paying all service fees. This deal includes any ticket purchased for any of the remaining Pirates home games for the rest of the year. So don't miss out on the great promotions, the post-game concerts, fireworks, and more. For tickets, visit pirates.com/no fees. And a reminder, the fees are not being waived. The Pirates are paying all fees. No service fees week. Ohlendorf has walked 3, including Cabrera in the first.
Still with a chance to put the 0 up. And Ross he's looking for a little rhythm right now, just to get a little flow going. So pounding the zone with strikes, making the pitches go where he wants them to go. He's still searching. We're in the second inning. He's throwing a bunch of pitches, but he's still searching for that bit of rhythm. Eleven batters, first pitch strikes, 5 of 11. He'd like that to be better, but that's the way it is right now.
Two and 0 on Orlando Cabrera.
See, you're in the process right now of shortening this start this evening to 5 innings with the way it's going.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to throw his 53rd pitch, and that's the way the judgments and the decisions are made based on that. That's the criteria.
He falls behind Orlando Cabrera 3-0. On deck, Miguel Cairo. John Russell looks at that lineup card. Hi. 3-1 on the veteran shortstop Orlando Cabrera. Ohlendorf making his 17th start of the season. Spent some time on the disabled list with back spasms. Had a tremendous second half last year. Was hoping to carry that over into 2010, but again it was disrupted with the back issues. And he walks Cabrera. He has walked the first 2 hitters in the lineup twice. 4 free passes on the night, and it's Cairo again who singled home Phillips from second base in the first inning.
And with the Pirates not scoring much, this at-bat could set a tone for this ball game for both teams. Right now, you're in a situation where you're just searching. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just find a way to get this ball could be lined at somebody. Get this out now. Worry about the aesthetics later on.
Bounced, tough little in-between hop there, handled by Andy LaRoche.
Good job.
On to first, 5-3 on the putout. So it's still 1-0 Reds.
Forward to getting going, getting out there and playing, and see what happens. I like to try to say I could swing it a little bit, but definitely my main focus is what goes on behind the plate, not at it.
Chris Snyder, as he steps to the plate. Pirates debut. Hitting .231 with 10 homers this year. As we said at the opening of our telecast, and this is one of those newer metrics, the OPS, on base plus slugging. And he has one of the better OPSs among catchers in the league, 778. That's a 352 on base, 426 slugging percentage. The slugging percentage is a 4th among catchers in the league, behind Miguel Olivo, Giovanni Soto, and Brian McCann.
Now you got to take it another couple too, Greg. When you think about OPS, GS, on base percentage, slugging, while grocery shopping. And let's take it right down.
Okay, what's his numbers for that?
628. Great year.
In his 7th season out of the University of Houston, Chris Snyder. And as you heard him say, his game is behind the plate.
His priorities are right. That's first responsibility for sure.
Leads all major league catchers with a .999 fielding percentage since 2007.
Well, you like that part, but you also you like those numbers that you're talking about. He pops this ball up with some pop in his bat, hits the ball over the fence every once in a while.
Well, keep in mind too that the 10 homers, 32 RBIs, 195 at bats. And here in Lasting's Millage, for example, in 309 at bats, has as many RBIs.
Yeah, but you what, 10 home runs, say 200 at bats?
Yep.
Project that out a full season, 600 at bats, 30 home runs. I mean, if you multiply it out, live with that.
Yeah.
Catcher.
Lasting's Millage now. Hitting .272. I mentioned the 32 RBIs, 3 home runs for Millage. Right. 11th meeting of the year between the Pirates and the Reds. Cincinnati winning 6 of the first 10.
You know, taking a look at this young man out here, Travis Wood, he's 5'11", 163 pounds. And when you talk about him having a little intestinal fortitude, when you're that size, you're not dominant, you're not 6'4", blowing the ball by everybody. You probably have to develop a little bit of an attitude about what you're trying to do. Show people that you don't have to be treetop tall to get the job done. So not surprising that they think highly of his intestinal fortitude, as they say. And they phrase it quite differently in a lot of other ways.
Millage with a fly ball. Easy play for Jay Bruce. 2 up and 2 down.
Yep.
So Travis Wood retires the first 2 Pirates and now goes after Andy LaRoche.
You know, I love this. You just capture a young man with a younger man, taking him to the ball game. You got a chance to get together that you don't miss any of the action. That's good stuff. You never get tired of seeing that scene. Whether it's an older brother or dad or an uncle, a youngster. Pretty good night at the ball yard.
This guy's older brother had quite a day at the ball yard yesterday. Adam LaRoche, 2 3-run homers as the Diamondbacks pounded the Mets. 6 RBI day for Adam, but it's been rare to see Andy LaRoche in the starting lineup. I mentioned his last start was July the 2nd, and that was at second base. He has had 14 at-bats. Had 14 at-bats in the month of July. Pedro Alvarez arrived June the 16th, and Alvarez would start the next 5 games and then sat 3. Delwyn Young started in his place, then he played a couple, and then he sat on June the 27th. That's when Andy LaRoche started, and then Alvarez started the next 30 consecutive games as Andy LaRoche chases for the strikeout. Through 2 innings, the Reds lead the Pirates 1-0. Just text Friday to 61592 for a special offer for Friday's game, or text Sunday to 61592 for a special offer for Sunday's game. Again, next Friday or Sunday, 61592. Grab your cell phone and act right now. And don't forget, Andrew McCutcheon bobblehead night is Friday, kids batting helmets on Sunday, and no fees on tickets, so great time to jump on this offer. Scott Rowland leads off the 3rd.
Let's see if Ross can put up a 0 with much less effort and not have to labor so much. It was a 0 in the second, but he had to work for it. He's staying upstairs. I don't know if that either a curveball or change, something off speed that just isn't, he's not getting on top of. Just leaving it upstairs.
Again, it's been missing for him.
And now you know Scott Rowland is expecting a fastball. And you can find that breaking ball with one pitch, but so far he hasn't found it.
Tries to hit the corner with a fastball. 3-1.
And Scott Rowland is still looking for a fastball. The hitter's count. That was the fastball. He was looking for the fastball, but not right on the outside corner. Nicely placed. Ross gets the call. He won't always get that call, but he got it right there. Going to stay with the fastball. He's not getting anything else over right now.
Oh, wow. Didn't blow it by him, but
no, 88 miles an hour. But it was up high enough where maybe he had Scott looking downstairs. It was tempting. Didn't get there in time. Strikeout number 3. When you're out there, that's a surprise strikeout. You're not expecting to get that one. You didn't throw it hard. You threw it out of the strike zone, and he swung at it. You can even tell it in his mechanics. He's just kind of all over the place. He's flying around a little bit, but you keep grinding because, again, it can all fall into place with one delivery. Maybe something like that. Who knows? All of a sudden, clicks, the body slows down. You get the rhythm. The body and the arm are together. Oh, okay, there it is. It can happen that quickly, or you can continue to struggle for a while. I know one thing, it's kind of nice to be out in front 1-2 for a change.
Gomes has his fans on hand. The Gomes gang. A bunch of folks from Cincinnati making the trip. Gomes a drive to right, Millage back. And off the wall and bounces past Millage. Gomes settling for a double. Gomes seemed didn't get a chance to watch him the whole way, but that ball was up so high. I don't know whether he was busting it from the get-go, but he's got a double.
I wonder if Lastings was deking him a little bit, because he looked like he might have had it measured early and just wound up looking at it. And this is one of these crazy bounces. I've said it for, well, the time this ballpark opened. You can get unbelievably different bounces. That one hit some kind of a reinforced screen or post and just jump back toward the infield.
Now, Ohlendorf needs to take advantage of the fact that Gomes is not at third base. A high fly ball off the wall.
The ball is up in the air right now. Do you think he got all of it?
He sure did.
Yep. Dusty Baker and the staff won't like that.
And this is a guy who most times is all out.
He thought it was either out or caught. And now Jay Bruce, a strikeout candidate. In fact, last at bat was his 100th of the season for Jay Bruce. Take a look at Gomes.
Two and two on Bruce.
Got him in a situation now where he can get a very vital strikeout. Either way, whether Gomes thought it was going to be caught or it was going to be a home run,
can't excuse it.
You got to go.
Right.
You got to pick up the pace. Up and in, up and in, up and in with a breaking ball, slider. It's tough being out there with one pitch. You feel kind of naked that okay, they're just going to look for the fastball because everything else is missing. It's not much fun.
Still 3-2 on Jay Bruce.
And Ross is all over the place with this follow through, so he's grinding.
Trying to get through it. Struck out Bruce in the first. Another 3-2 pitch. Maybe a broken bat fly ball right center field. That drops in. And bobbled. Well, that won't have an effect on the play. First and third.
Just a little flare. Lasting's lost the handle getting the ball out of the glove, but no further damage.
Chris Heisey lined a double over Tabata's head in the second inning, leading off the frame, and was stranded. Ollendorf in desperate need of a ground ball to an infielder here.
Heisey just 87 at bats, 25 strikeouts. So you wouldn't think a young guy like this, you look at him, looks like a contact hitter, but he has struck out a fair amount of time. So he still isn't that candidate for a strikeout.
Got him on the elbow, and the bases are loaded. Just nicked him. Sixth batter that Ollendorf has hit this season. Critical time now for the Pirate starter. Barely nicked that right elbow.
Well, Greg, they always say the candidates for double plays are mostly catchers. Got a catcher up there.
He has hit into 4. Ryan Hannigan hitting .393 with men in scoring position this season.
Just to call him a sinking fastball. Right now, Ross is thinking, I've got one pitch, it's a fastball. I've got to try to spot it. Just can't throw it down the middle just for the sake of throwing a strike.
Hannigan has hit a grand slam this season. He's 4 for 6 with the bases loaded this year. He and Ramon Hernandez, the catchers on this Reds team. Jammed him, and now Ollendorf ahead of Hannigan 0-2. Talking about catchers, Steve. Reds uniforms.
Get the camera off that name. Get him away from me.
Steve
one of the best.
To shake.
One of the best. Hall of Famer Johnny Bench. Make a pitch right here, Ross. Make a pitch. And he left it upstairs.
Mistake.
Ouch. That's one of those ones I like to say both parties would like to have it back. Ross would like to have it back because it was dangerous, and Hannigan would like to have another whack at it.
To the count on Hannigan with the bases loaded. Travis Wood on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm going to make a guess here. I'm going to make a guess that Chris Snyder will set up in on the hands. See if they might be able to tie him up. Because again, they missed with the breaking ball. They got away with a previous breaking ball. Just a guess. Where he sets up will tell you.
And a bouncer. And they just get one.
And that was a pretty good job actually by Hannigan. That was a good pitch, a good location by Ross. And at the cost of a run, they get the second out. outside part of the plate, maybe off the plate. That's a good job by the Cincinnati catcher.
Here
You're trying to get a little extra on it.
Yep. Ollendorf grunting as he delivered the pitch. The broken bat bouncer to Garrett Jones. So 2-0, and now he faces Travis Wood.
Don't have to tell you, it's critical. You've got to get this man.
Breaking ball misses to the pitcher. Wood 2 hits in 15 at bats this season. Bounced to short his first time up.
You can live with this mess that you created if you get the pitcher here.
Pedro Alvarez and John Russell talk.
That's never a bad thing. A guy who's been around the game a long time, for a guy that's in his first year in the big leagues, it's always a good thing.
1-2 on Wood.
How do you try the breaking ball again? These are tough situations for the catcher, too, on what to call. Nobody's struggling.
Barrett doing his Andrew McCutcheon impersonation.
Good breaking ball. A good tight breaking ball.
Strikes
Cleans it up.
Bookend K's. Roland to start. Wood to end. 2-0.
On FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by AT&T, Rethink Possible, and by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day.
2-0 Cincinnati as we go to the bottom of the second. We love Greg Brown. Well, you know, I love him too. I think just about everybody does, but, you know, they only allow so many signs in the ballpark.
I thought we were going to lead to this day in Pirates history. Day Automotive, get out of here. Thank you, boys. Okay, Steve, let's go to this day in Pirates history. You are something else. Strange man you are.
Mm-hmm. You are. I just don't get the love in the ballpark like you do.
Bob Walk and John Wayner might say you're just silly. Steeltown says that too. Welcome back, Steeltown. Jason Steele. Thanks to Becky Harenko the past week. A nice job as associate producer as well. This ball lined to right. So, anyway, Steve, as I thought you were going to lead to Day Automotive, this day in Pirates history is on this day. August 2nd, 1996, Jeff King had 3 hits, including a double and triple, and drove in 3 runs. Pirates beat the Phillies 8-1. Thank you, Day Automotive.
And probably vehemently apologize for doing that.
That too, yep. Remember Jeff King for a lot of things, but
the reluctant Jeff King.
Yeah, but you have to respect a guy who, in the middle of a contract, big money contract, says, I'm shutting it down. And some guys will say that and say they're going to retire and then hang around. I'll come back.
You respect him.
We haven't heard from Jeff King.
I thought he was nuts.
We haven't heard from Jeff King since. Gone.
Good guy, Jeff King.
Ollendorf fouls it out of play.
Fun to be around. And Jeff King had some talent.
Yeah. But as you said kiddingly, he was probably reluctantly.
He's a reluctant major leaguer.
Yeah. Drove in all those runs that day, and I'm sure we probably tried to get him on a post-game interview, and he suggested we go somewhere else.
Yep. I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean to drive in those runs.
It's all right. It's okay.
Ollendorf down on strikes. Second K for Travis Wood. Top of the order, and Andrew McCutchen. Travis Wood making his 7th start. I mentioned a near perfect game for him.
8 strikeouts in that game. That's his season, career, lifetime high. But had 8 in that outing. 24 straight outs. How about that at that age, going into the 9th inning, never having to pitch from the stretch?
Wednesday against the Brewers. Picked up his first career win. 5 innings, a couple of runs on 5 hits. 6 strikeouts. They have really put together a solid starting rotation, have these Reds. And they still have on the DL Aaron Harang, and of course Harang really struggling. ERA over 5. He's not ready to come off the DL just yet. Popped up, headed toward the seats. The Cuban defector, the hard-throwing left-hander Aroldis Chapman, is still at AAA. There's Harang.
Still working on a huge contract, by the way.
Bronson Arroyo, 11-6 on the year. We'll see Mike Leake tomorrow, who's 7-2. Johnny Cueto, we'll see him Wednesday afternoon. And Edinson Volquez is back. Roland throws out McCutchen, and the Pirates go down 1-2-3. 2-0 Reds. Yes, sir.
Just welcoming the returning Warriors.
I don't know if they
Can we get back to the ball game here? Can we do that?
2-0, Brandon Phillips. And a base hit to center. Phillips, who has walked twice and now singled against Oldendorf. All right, Steve, to make you feel better. There we are. There we are. How's that? Feel better now?
Yeah, actually,
Jealous.
I do.
Yes, sir.
Good to be back.
And runner takes off and swinging away and maybe saving a stolen base. Like Phillips had a pretty good jump. Cabrero swinging away as Phillips took off. Perhaps a hit and run.
Oh, wow. Massive jump. Thank you for the foul ball. And thanks for the sign, too, Greg. I know you meant it.
I did.
There's the breaking ball. Pulling the string out in front. Similar to the curveball he struck out Travis Wood with. Now that was just a changeup. Okay, better look at it. Pulled the string nonetheless. Good arm action on the straight change. That's a little shot in the arm there. Okay, I'm capable of doing that tonight. Ross has paid the price of being quick over to first base, but some good quick moves, but a couple of errors too.
Yeah. Phillips has 12 steals, but he's been caught 8 times. And there he goes, and another strong jump. And the throw, no chance for Snyder.
And again, that can set a tone, but if you don't have a chance, you can't get the out. Wasn't as good a jump as the previous attempt, but still an above average jump, and that will cause catchers to hurry.
Eric Kratz.
And good block there by Chris Snyder. And you got to be careful now, because once a guy like Phillips gets going, you know, he'll continue to run, so you got to keep track of him. Oh, that was like a 50-footer.
Well, that's a textbook, isn't it there, Steve? The block?
Yep, you move the big body in front. You don't care where it hits off you, just so the ball stays out in front. That freezes the runner. If the ball is beside you or in back of you, they get real aggressive. But out in front, that stops them, because they don't know exactly how far you are from the ball as a catcher. But you know as a runner that the ball is out in front, available to be picked up.
Fly ball hit deep, and that will allow the runner to move to third as the catch is made by McCutcheon. As the Reds try to manufacture a run here, Cabrero drives it toward right center.
And now the challenge continues for Ross, and he's working on his 90th pitch here in the 4th inning. He has labored each and every one. Well, you might have heard it in the background. Step off, Ross. We're at the infield end. Just making sure everybody's on the same page defensively. They have to play, and they can't give any more offense with the way this young man is pitching and the way the Pirate bats are struggling. But they'll give up a run here.
Another one to right center as the catch is made. A pretty good job there by Millage just to get it out. Cairo drives in his second run of the game. 3-0 Cincinnati.
And that, I think that ball fooled Lasting's Millage. He went over and almost like a recovery catch. Almost overran the ball.
Scott Rowland has struck out twice. I got the impression that Milledge in his mind was so dead set on, as soon as the ball was hit, okay, I'm going to get a good jump on it to try and throw out the runner, and then he did have to race back to get the catch. And now Scott Rowland, who has struck out twice. We mentioned on this day in Pirates history earlier, thanks to Day Automotive, that this was a day that Jeff King drove in 3 runs in a victory, an 8-3 win over the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia. The starting third baseman that night was Scott Rowland for the Phillies. Scott Rowland was 3 for 4 that night and drove in 2 runs off John Lieber. To center, McCutchen. A leadoff hit and a stolen base leads to another run. Head to the bottom half of the 4th. 3-0 Cincinnati. Have the second youngest active roster at 26 years, 321 days. What team is currently the youngest?
I've got that answer. Should I wait?
No, don't wait. No sense in waiting. Would you have the answer? Are you guessing, or do you know it?
I don't have to answer that. I have the answer. It doesn't reason. There's no.
You are showing so much moxie tonight. I think it's the 8 days off that you had, having not been with the club. There's a little pop-up. Second baseman Phillips is out.
If I have the answer, it really doesn't matter how or why. The Reds. The answer is the Reds. Little flare, but not far enough in back of Brandon Phillips.
Davidoff thought he found the ball back. Neil Walker singled in the first.
The one Pirate hit.
Bunted foul. So the Reds, your final answer, Steve?
Yep.
Okay. He's not going to tell us if he saw the answer, or is he just guessing?
I don't look at the answers. I don't have a computer. Yeah. I don't look for that stuff.
I'm going to guess the crazy reason. I'm going to just guess the Indians. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm just going to take a shot. I just see that they're leading the Boston Red Sox 3-1 in the 5th inning.
What is that piece of paper you have in your hand?
What's the piece of paper you have in your hand? What kind of a question is that?
It's got answers to.
It does not. Here's young Jose Tabata. This Pirates offense has really been shut down. Pirates scored a total of 26 runs in their back-to-back victories against Milwaukee, July 20th and 21st. But in the 10 games since, they haven't scored that many total. Walker down on strikes.
Greg, I just want to take a minute to give a shout out to Robert Kemmerling. He works at the PNC Bank branch office out in Upper St. Clair. Been there doing some business. He could not been more professional, engaging, good Pirate fan. And, appreciate all the help with my limited math education. Did a good job. And it's okay to say that because he works for these guys that own this ballpark.
Yeah.
It's okay. Robert, thanks. It's appreciated.
Thanks to all the folks at PNC for the achiever in us all. Garrett Jones, a big swing and a miss. Jeez.
Oh, that's got to be brother and sister. That's got to be. Yeah. He touched me. He hit me. He looked at me. That's the way it usually starts.
0-2 on Garrett Jones as Travis Wood has allowed just the one hit.
Now there's content right there.
Wood shaking off sign after sign here from Hannigan, and now Hannigan says, let's call timeout, try this again. The home plate umpire Doug Eddings says, let's move this thing along.
Catcher runs out of selections.
And this ball driven to right center field, and Bruce is there. And the Pirates are retired 1-2-3 for the third straight inning. Travis Wood and the Reds, one hitting the Bucks. I guessed the Indians. And the Indians it is. See, Joe, I've got my sources.
That's what I get for playing it straight.
Your tribe. Here's Johnny Gomes.
He's got a hat just like that at home from 1948.
I know, you've said that before, that you grew up a big Indians fan, right?
Yep. They were older back in those days.
Talking about Herb Score that was hit by that Gil McDougald line drive back in May of 1957.
Back in those days, they had Wynn, Lemon, and Garcia. That was 3 20-game winners. Bob Feller, Hal Newhouser.
Pop up. Second baseman Walker, shortstop Cedeno. It's the shortstop who makes the play. By the way, Steve, I did not realize, talking about a trivia question, Gil McDougald is the answer to the question, who scored the last run for the Yankees in the 1960 World Series. He was a pinch runner, and he scored on a Yogi Berra ground out that tied the game at 9 in the top of the 9th. And then, of course, Maz made history. Jay Bruce 1 for 2.
So ironic that Maz hit it over the head of Yogi Berra in left field. Who'd have been catching? Johnny Blanchard? Or Elston Howard?
I think Elston Howard. So you were an Indians fan, right?
Big Indians fan. And not the only one that works for this operation. Stan Savran.
Oh,
big,
right, of course.
Indians fan.
Stan Savran was a bat boy for the Indians back in 1947. Or no.
How about that?
And now who wants this?
That's a major league pop.
Yes, it was. Garrett Jones. Jay Bruce fouls out to the Pirates' first baseman. That really was Stan Savran? Is that true? Bat boy? How about that?
No, that's Drew Carey. That's Stan.
How about that?
He's a big fan of the tribe.
There's Chris Heisey, 2 outs in the 5th.
A much better inning for Ross Ollendorf.
It was Johnny Blanchard, by the way, who was starting behind the plate with Yogi Berra in left. September 5th, they'll unveil the Maz statue outside PNC Park. Hope you'll make your plans to be here on that historic day in the city of Pittsburgh, PNC Park. A great day to honor Maz, September the 5th against the Washington Nationals. 1-1 count on Heisey. Fly ball, Tabata in left.
And he's found the breaking ball, an off-speed pitch. Come on, circle around, circle the wagons. Bring it on in. Come on down.
3-zip Reds. To pick up still, a few remain, the lithographs, the Burton Morris lithographs for $500 donation. And you can go to pirates.com/MazArt, or for $10 donation, the poster Call 1-877-MAZ-1960. Still a limited edition, signed by both Burton Morris and Bill Mazeroski. The lithographs for $500, and then the $10 poster. Go to Pirates.com for all the information. As Chris Snyder has his second Pirate at bat, fly to right in the second inning. Travis Wood has retired 10 straight since the Neil Walker 2-out single in the first inning.
One base runner. Come on, let's get going. Don't want to anoint this guy Cy Young right now.
And a pop-up. Right field. Jay Bruce has been busy. CGH injury update. Ryan Domit on the disabled list with a concussion, starting his rehab assignment tonight with Indianapolis. 0 for 2 so far. John Russell talking about what the schedule will be for Domit in terms of, again, DHing tonight. He'll play in the outfield tomorrow, right field. He'll have an off day Wednesday and then play right field again on Thursday, and they'll take it from there.
What's the secret of this young man's success so far? Excellent control. Hasn't walked anybody. Has kept the ball out of the hitting zone, out of the middle of the strike zone. That's a pretty good combination, and so far it's working for Travis Wood.
Throwing strikes, impressive strikes. The second round pick 5 years ago. Bruce again with a chance to make a play, but out of play.
You say 6 so far?
6 putouts for Jay Bruce. Travis Wood, very good in terms of the pitch count. Steve mentioned from Little Rock, Arkansas. Entered this season as the 7th best prospect in the Reds organization by Baseball America. So a nice play over there in the seats. Oh, doggone it.
No, these are
my boys didn't get there.
These are different people. It's a different group. It's everywhere. Emphatic body movement by Lastings as he gets ready, and it's all for naught. That's what pitchers will do. You go through all that stuff, and then they'll step off and make you do it again.
Steve, is there anything to the fact that these right-hand hitters are all hitting the ball to the right side?
Yes, there is. He's keeping the ball. He's throwing a lot of fastballs out there, and that's all they're able to do with it. And Garrett Jones has popped one to right, but everybody else right-hand batter, so he's throwing strikes on the outside part of the plate, and he's been off that outside corner some also. So now, it's just impossible to turn the ball around.
If this pattern continues as a hitter, base hit to
if it continues, you've got to go out there, and that can play right into a pitcher's hands. Now he'll start busting you. If he's smart, he'll bust you in. Well, a good pitcher will recognize, hey, they're diving out. I've run the string on those kind of outs. Now I've got to keep them honest.
But again, if you're going from the hitter's standpoint, doesn't it make sense until he shows you that he's going to?
Oh yeah, you got to force him to come in, because if you don't, he's going to stay out there. Just going to stay out there all night long. It's been maintained. I don't know if the stats support it, but it used to be the theory you got 75% of your outs outside.
And again, stays away.
Right there. But there's a reason you get those outside outs is because you're protecting inside so they don't dive out and get that ball. Stands to reason. It's not as easy to pull a ball and hurt you dramatically with a pitch away. Most of the time. You get hurt most of the times when you miss inside.
Now he wants it up and in.
And gets it there. Now that's throwing the ball right where you want it. And there are people who say, well, wait a minute, you like to extend your arms and get out. Well, you can do that and turn the ball around if it's not far enough out. You can still get full extension and turn on the ball and pull it. I mean, it's not, you don't get tied up every time you're inside.
Hannigan checks the dugout. And Hannigan now calls time.
And it will get to the point where if you stay outside, the big boppers will go out and get that ball and turn it around because you just don't keep them honest.
Village back.
Well, the Pirates still in this ball game. It just doesn't seem like that because of the way that Travis Wood is throwing the ball. Ledesma, the left-hander, one of two left-handers now in the Pirate bullpen, getting loose. You've got to get somebody ready because if you get down to Ohlendorf's spot, that means you've got good offensive action going, and he's already over 100 pitches. The good news about Ross is that he found his off-speed stuff in the last inning, in the last inning and a half. You don't want to go 5 innings and get your 5 innings in with just the fastball. He finally found it, so that's got to feel better. That's off the fist dramatically.
Oh, Hannigan. And Wood that got almost toppled over.
Now, a last-minute rescue effort. Those guys got to be on the railing waiting for those guys. I never have understood that. This ball goes up in the air now. Okay, you see your guys coming over. Line it up. They're looking at the ball, too.
Boy, this Wood, who just about toppled over.
Well, he's 23, and he likes being in the big leagues. I like that. There's got to be people there.
It was Cairo and Hannigan that really saved him, not necessarily his dugout. Another pop up and out of play. Andy LaRoche just not gone the way he and the Pirates had hoped. Jeff Clement, he is in the hole. Wood bat if the inning were to get down to that 9th spot. And with the arrival of Alvarez, LaRoche has been used sparingly. Pirates have said, and asking Neil Huntington, that he has no options left. So if the Pirates were to try and do that, the Pirates believe strongly that he would be picked up by another organization. Pedro Alvarez will be back in there tomorrow night, according to John Russell. Missed away this time, 2-2.
Fastball action on the outside part of the strike zone.
One thing for sure, Andy LaRoche hasn't changed as a person. He has handled this whole thing with such class. Still works awfully hard.
Well, you know, if it's not going the way you want it to, and it certainly isn't for Andy, you've got to do that. I mean, you don't want to burn bridges. You want to keep playing. If it's not here, you want to be with somebody in the big leagues, and certainly don't want to get a reputation that, okay, you just cashed in, and Andy certainly has not. It's that note will follow him.
And he fouls off another as he battles Travis Wood.
Another thing about Travis Wood, he's thrown 90, 91 maybe, but it looks like there's a lot of late swings. And so maybe a little effortless motion, that the ball has a little extra finish that you're not expecting, or perhaps hiding the ball a little bit.
Fly ball pitcher, some people wondered as he came up through the organization, is he a good fit for Cincinnati, that ballpark?
Just missed this ball. Will it stay in?
Remind you, coming up on Thursday, Andrew McCutcheon showing you the T-shirt you'll receive. The FSN T-shirt night coming up Thursday against the Rockies. First of a 4-game series. All fans receive a Pirates T-shirt courtesy of FSN. Visit Pirates.com for information. Neat looking T-shirt you'll get thanks to FSN this Thursday night. And again, LaRoche battling Travis Wood. Wood struck him out in the second. Now broken bat, so LaRoche will get a new stick. Travis Wood just 73 pitches thrown, but 9 alone to this man, LaRoche. Wood made his major league debut against the Cubs. And this time, a fly ball to right. Who else? Jay Bruce, 7 putouts. 2 outs into the 5th inning. The right fielder with 7 putouts. I'm sure Rob Butcher of the Reds Media Relations Department and others scrambling for the record books to see how close.
You usually hear it in the background. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. Got all the records. Find anything you want in those media guides.
The right fielder with half the putouts of the game so far.
You know, if you're a serious baseball fan, you get your team squared away, go get a media guide for that team. You know, they're available in all the major league ballparks, and they will tell you everything about your ball club. And if you're a serious fan, you get a lot of enjoyment out of going through that, bringing it to the ballpark.
Cedeno lined to right field in the 3rd. There's Rob Butcher, long-time media relations man for the Reds. Down below in the front row, Pirate staff, Jim Chudinich, Dan Hart.
Good buddies right there.
Yeah.
Jimmy T, Rob Butcher.
Cedeno takes a strike, 2-1. Cedeno hitting .387 this year against Reds pitching. Last 9 games here at PNC Park, Cedeno batting at a .457 clip. 0 for 1 tonight. Seems like the Pirates are down by about 8, but it's just 3-0.
It's just the 5th inning. But when a pitcher is dominant, gives you that feel.
And he walks Cedeno, his first free pass. Mollendorf will apparently be called back in favor of Jeff Clement.
So Ross, a struggling night, but did not let the ball game get away and tidied it up in the 5th inning. He will depart.
So now Wood will get a visit from Brian Price. Pitching coach. Hey, traveling this season? Take the Pirates with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv. See every Pirates game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Good night for some ice cream. Good night for some Pirate offense here as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ron Mollendorf goes 5 innings, giving up 3 runs on 5 hits. He walked 4 and struck out 4.
Brian Price, I think, really gained a lot of fans in some corners when he resigned from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was not thrilled that they made the change last year in favor of A.J. Hinch. He didn't think that Hinch had the experience necessary, and rather than even be fired, he was a guy who decided to quit after the firing of Bob Melvin. Now on with the Cincinnati Reds as their pitching coach. Strike called on Clement. Clement hit a 420-foot bomb against the Cardinals on Saturday as a pinch hitter against a righty, Mitchell Boggs. He has hit 6 home runs as a Pirate this season. It didn't work out as the starting first baseman, so he was optioned back down to the minors. Hit .305 at AAA with 8 homers in 40 games. He's hit all 6 of his home runs on the road. Speaking of that, Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Watch the blast. Travel 420 feet. Off the bat of Jeff Clement. The Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Let's do it again. Swing, tie up the ball game.
He's in the hole 1-2. Wood has given up 3 home runs. And a roller to second. Phillips bobbles it. And a chance out at first base. Phillips just able to recover. Ball apparently clipped his right hand. And a close play at first. Will be Will Ledesma, who had a rough outing on Saturday against the Cardinals. Gave up 5 runs, recorded just 1 out, allowed 4 hits and a walk.
He was on fire at AAA Indianapolis, but that outing was not good.
Hard throwing left-hander. The Pirates felt strongly that Ledesma could kind of pick up where the veteran lefty Javier Lopez left off. And we'll see, as we mentioned earlier, this uncertain times for the Pirates bullpen with the more inexperienced, though Ledesma's been in the big leagues before. Now faces Ryan Hannigan.
He had an ERA under 1. AAA.
0.95 ERA for Indy this year. Will Ledesma, formerly of the Tigers, Braves, Padres, Diamondbacks, and Nationals. 5 innings for Ohlendorf.
They call it the soft underbelly of a ball game. 5, 6, 7 innings. Those middle 3 before you get to the setup men and the closers. Looking for that call on the inside corner. Didn't get it. 2-0.
There's the strike to Ryan Hannigan. 2-1. Wilfredo Ledesma had made 20 straight scoreless appearances with Indianapolis before his promotion to Pittsburgh this past week, covering 21 innings. 29-year-old from Venezuela. Pop up. Catcher Snyder makes the grab. One out in the sixth.
The toughest thing many times is not catching it, it's finding it. Now he's got a decent face mask throw, but nothing compared to Eric Kratz. Eric gets some distance.
Eric finds that ball in the air and he will fling it far.
You want to make sure you're watching, because if it comes in your direction, it can do some damage.
Almost got a piece of the pitcher. They want to check and see if he swung.
I was wondering if he got hit.
Strike, yeah. Wood has grounded to short and struck out. Almost got a piece of that jersey.
Weighs 163 according to the book. If he weighed 164, he'd be at first base. The effort was made.
1-2. John Russell and Pedro Alvarez in conversation again. A 2-2 count. Strike three called. 2 outs in the sixth. It is time for the Coors Light freeze cam here in the sixth inning. Moments ago, we saw Jeff Clement hit the ground ball to Brandon Phillips. He bobbled it, recovered, and will just get Clement, who does not run well, barely, according to the first base umpire Dana Demuth. What do you think? Yep. Freeze cam brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Top of the order, and Brandon Phillips on base 3 times. He has scored 2 more runs. 77, 78 on the year.
All right.
Ledesma will have a 1-2-3 6th. So, Pirates top of the order will be due up in the bottom half of the 6th inning, getting their 3rd look at Travis Wood. Giving underprivileged kids throughout the United States and Canada the chance to attend Major League Baseball games, meet the players. The players trust partners with local transit authorities and Major League teams Plus, charitable organizations in all major league cities share the thrill of a big league game with kids who need more chances to smile. At each ballpark, the kids welcomed by players who spend time signing autographs, giving away souvenirs, and posing for photographs. Complimentary food and soft drinks during the game, and often the chance to see their own faces on the scoreboard to provide lasting memories before the bus heads home. No 0-1 the count on Andrew McCutchen.
Let's load up the bus here. It's time to pull out of the station. Come on. Pirates scoreless through the first 5.
One ball, one strike on McCutchen. Fly to right to the wall in the first, and a ground ball to third base. His last at bat against Travis Wood. And Phillips is there. Another ball hit to the right side by a right-hand hitter. Line, but caught. Brandon Phillips, Gold Glover. Phillips has made just 2 errors this season. Reds team has committed 41, second fewest in the National League. By comparison, the Pirates have committed 78. The Washington Nationals have committed the most in the league, 83 miscues. And they go up and in on Tabata, and a fly ball to left. 2 up and 2 down for Travis Wood.
And he continues a good bit of the time to stay out of that hitting zone. He missed with McCutchen. Andrew hit it sharply, but throws a good quality strike to Jose and gets the out.
Neil Walker, 1 out of 2. Gets the call there.
He's found himself a little roll it up there curveball here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Eric Kratz and Zach Duke talk. 1 ball, 1 strike on Walker. Travis Wood has given up just 2 hits, 3 base runners. Walker, 1 of the 2 hits. Now 2-1 on the Bucco second baseman. Houston leads the Cardinals early. Cardinals are a half game up on the Reds in the Central. 2-2 the count on Walker. Walker, former first-round pick of the Pirates. Wood, a second-round pick. Wood didn't take much time to sign either. Second rounder, and he was off to professional baseball. Made 14 appearances his first year. And his first season of pro ball, immediate dividends. Didn't allow a run over his first 17 innings of his career. He slowly then moved up the minor league ladder. Played at Dayton in 2006. High A-ball Sarasota during the 2007 campaign. Started 2008 there, and then promoted to Double-A Chattanooga. And a line drive that's going to carry out to Johnny Gomes. A couple of line drives, but 1, 2, 3 and out. Travis Wood pitching a 2-hit shutout. inning, Indy trails at Norfolk 4-1. That's Mike Crowder pitching. Luke Carlin, left-hand catcher, 1 for 2, double and a run scored. DH tonight for Ryan Domit. Daytona leads Bradenton 2-1. Actually, that's a final in 8 innings. Calvin Anderson 2 for 3. Game 2 with a doubleheader, scoreless in the second. Will Ledesma, strike is called. And also Cole White, who's playing New York Penn League State College. Cole White named New York Penn League Hitter of the Week. It's the 4th straight Spike to win the weekly honor. Shortstop Cedeno. Orlando Cabrera is out number 1. We start this 7th inning.
This is a different Will Ledesma.
Ledesma's retired the first 4.
This has been the RBI man. Very much involved. Cairo driving in a run in the first, and then the sac fly in the 4th. 2 out of the 3 runs that the Reds have scored.
And Cairo takes 2 and 1. Cedeno for the second out. Cedeno, 3 straight assists. Got Phillips to end the top of the 6th inning, and now it's the first 2 men here in the 7th. Cabrera and Cairo will face. Ledesma will face Roland now. Cedeno has done a fine job defensively. And if they can get a more consistent bat from him, and they like what they've seen, especially, of course, here at PNC Park. Last 10 games, hitting about 400. Tonight he has lined to right and walked. Now, part of the wheeling and dealing with Pirates over the last weekend, the trade deadline, they did pick up a slick fielding shortstop, Pedro Siriaco, along with Chris Snyder. And they sent Bobby Crosby, Ryan Church, DJ Carrasco to the Diamondbacks. Boy, we were hearing some really good things about Andrew Lambeau. Dodgers soured on him, the outfielder. He was one of the players acquired in the Dotel deal. James McDonald will start Thursday. And pick there by Andy LaRoche. What a play. What a play.
Yes.
By Andy LaRoche.
Hot corner. Hot play. Blistered on the backhand, and then it's easy.
The smash off the bat of Scott Rowland. Quick reaction from LaRoche. Alvarez has really appreciated the tips that Andy LaRoche has given him, the advice, as he tries to learn some of the nuances of playing third base in the big leagues. Steve, I was talking to Frank Kremblis, the manager down at AAA Indianapolis in the Pirates organization on Saturday on our Down on the Farm segment about a host of issues, including some of the players that have been called up recently. And he made the point, and I think we kind of tend to forget. He said that ball comes off the bat differently at the big league level. He's talking about defense of these guys. He said they'll get there. Aaron Jones will be retired.
Well, the game is faster. It's just it's a higher level. Things happen.
But again, I mean, I think we all tend to kind of forget it and just assume, both maybe offensively and defensively, the guy gets to the big leagues, he's going to just continue to do what he did. But everything is so different here.
Well, they say coming up through the minor leagues, the biggest jump is from AAA. You know, the perception is you're so close to the big leagues. You're so close at AAA. Well, it's still a big difference, big level.
Chris Snyder has twice flied to right. His first 2 Pirate at bats. The most putouts in a regular season 9-inning game by a Reds outfielder since 1974 is 10. Since 1974, Jay Bruce has 7. Done most recently by Reggie Taylor 7 years ago. All-time record by a Reds outfielder in any game is 13 by Rolando Rooms back in 1989. And that was a 17-inning game. And in case you're wondering, the all-time most putouts in a regular season 9-inning game by any outfielder is 12. It's been done 3 times, most recently last year by Jacoby Ellsbury of the Boston Red Sox.
And coming back from New England, they are not happy with their Boston Red Sox this year. They are not happy at all. They 6 or 7 games out, 6.5 going into tonight's action.
Snyder down on strikes. And they didn't do much in the deadline, did they, in terms of trades?
A little bit.
Did they?
Yeah, there was a little action. It was not high-profile stuff. Yeah, they got the catcher.
Saltalamacchia?
One of those guys that had trouble throwing the ball back to the pitcher. It sounds like the simplest thing in the world.
Boston trailing Cleveland 6-2 in the 7th inning tonight. Village gets under it. It's another fly ball. Travis Wood has advertised a fly ball pitcher and a strike thrower. And this guy who nearly pitched a perfect game in his 3rd big league start. Not perfect, but close. A 2-hit shutout through 7. with Milwaukee. $26.5 million. A guy who was going to be a platoon player out of spring training and became a bit disgruntled and then just took off. And then at the trade deadline, most people figured he would be dealt.
Yes.
Martin Prado, placed on the 15-day DL by the Braves, broke his right pinky on Friday against these Reds. Carlos Silva goes on the DL. A regular heartbeat left the game in the second inning yesterday. And Mike Cameron, we were just talking about the Red Sox, back on the DL. Abdominal pain. We understand that Kevin Youkilis left the game tonight in the third inning with a jammed right thumb. So the problems continue for the Boston Red Sox.
Carlos Silva, the regular heartbeat, it's nothing. I had that the first time I saw Julie Christie. I mean, it's nothing.
What? And what movie was Julie Christie in?
Dr. Zhivago.
I was going to say, it's your favorite movie.
The best. Nobody's ever looked better.
Because of Julie Christie.
Nobody's ever. Catherine Ross, close.
Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, yeah. We don't want to kid about it. We are hopeful that they're going to be able to take care of that. But I know where you're coming from, Steve, though, because you're saying that when you watched Dr. Zhivago for the first time and you saw Julie Christie,
a regular heartbeat, yeah, but not serious.
Right.
We hope Carlos Silva's situation is not serious.
And Catherine Ross and Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, huh?
Yep.
Wasn't she also in the Stepford Wives, the original Stepford Wives movie?
No, but that was always a personal favorite.
She was in that. I'm sure she was.
Nice ladies.
Joel Hanrahan.
After a couple of impressive innings by Will Ledesma, 6 up, 6 down, the strikeout. Well done. So we're talking about, you either got to get your starters to be better and go further, or these guys got to pick up their game. Will Ledesma did. He held the fort nicely, beautifully, for 2 innings.
It's a ball and 2 strikes on Gomes. One of 3 hits against Ohlendorf. It was a 1-out double off the wall and right. He would score on a ground out by Hannigan. Reds scoring in the first, third, and fourth frames. Plenty of offense tonight for Travis Wood. But their bullpen is working. Strike 3 call. Johnny Gomes. Hanrahan gets the K.
Right there. 63 strikeouts, 64 strikeouts in 46 innings for Joel. Closer numbers.
And again, Neil Huntington saying that Hanrahan and Meek, neither will be named a closer the rest of the year.
Unless somebody steps up, was the end of the quote.
He doesn't want anybody to think that if they have a rough outing or so that they couldn't be the closer next year. One ball, 1 strike the count. So it very unusual. You don't see it these days in the big leagues. Not closer by committee, but he said, yeah, if guys has had the rest a couple days, Meek goes and vice versa. If Meek needs a rest, Hanrahan. But they feel strongly that both can do the job. The key is that Pirates don't want either to think that if they go out and have a couple of rough outings that they couldn't still close out games. 1-2 on Jay Bruce.
Well, it's just a matter of getting to them for the lead.
Yep. There we go.
I believe, did I see over the weekend that Joel came in and struck out the side? 3 strikeouts.
Hanrahan struck out John Jay, Albert Pujols, and Matt Holliday in the 9th inning on Friday to keep the game scoreless. Cardinals won it 1-0 in 10. Pirates have scored, going back to that Cardinals series, they scored 2 runs in the 3 games. And tonight they're being shut out.
If you go down the line in the logic, if your starters go just 5 innings, chances are you're going to be behind. And if you're behind, you're wasting those 2 weapons. You're not going to use them as often as you would if they're in save situations and or setup.
Heisey has himself another hit.
It's 2 bases.
Oh, it's going to be 3 because McCutchen was not able to cut it off. And now they're going to wave him home. Cedeno's throw to the plate is going to be late. Chris Heisey circles the bases.
And Mark Berry does the right thing. Why hold him up in a 2-out situation? You got a chance to get a cheap run after this base hit. Looked like it was going to be 2 bases. And now 3 and then 4.
McCutchen trying to time his slide to cut it off. All the way to the notch. There's Mark Berry with the windmill.
It's got to be a double and an error, doesn't it? Home run?
Inside the park, home run, they rule it. As Hannigan rolls out to second. Chris Heisey. His 7th home run is an inside the Parker and a 4-0 lead for the Reds. He really ends up giving Hanrahan an earned run here.
Yeah, that's my problem with it. It's going to be 2 bases. You give him the 2-base hit, 2 outs. But if we get a chance to look at where Andrew is, too, on that play, you can understand a little bit of frustration.
Heisey, the inside the park home run. 7th home run of the season for Heisey. And now veteran right-hander Russ Springer. And Heisey also moving from center to left. Drew Stubbs is in center. Travis Wood, 7 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. Drew Stubbs now in center. Just saw Heisey moving to left.
Springer just joining the ball club. You see him wear a lot with the Houston Astros.
Yep. Andy LaRoche pops it up out of play. Springer was signed as a free agent by the Cincinnati Reds and then assigned to AAA. Signed the 17th of this month. 17 big league seasons. 9 teams, including those Astros, Yankees, Angels, Phillies, Diamondbacks, Braves, Cardinals, A's, and Rays. And a pop-up. That's been the theme tonight.
And he kind of jammed himself on that inside breaking ball. So it's not just the left-handers that hang around and pitch for a bunch of teams. It can happen for a right-hander, as for Russ Springer.
Daniel pops this ball up, right field again. 2 up and 2 down.
And there have been some very comfortable half innings for both Wood, who went 7 scoreless, a couple of hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and now Russ Springer, the veteran, from the apprentice to the technician, the master, the veteran.
Springer's first outing in the major leagues this season. With the A's and Tampa Bay Rays last year. And the high strike on the curveball to the pinch hitter Delwyn Young.
Joe Hanrahan goes 1 inning with a tainted run, an earned run, a couple of strikeouts.
Justin Thomas in the Pirates bullpen. Will be the new pitcher. One, 2 count now. Delwyn Young. .252 average this season. .238 from this side of the plate. He has 11 hits and 42 at bats off the bench. In the hole, 1 and 2 to the veteran right-hander Russ Springer. Reds now 4 outs away from winning their 7th game against the Pirates this season. Batting for Joel Hanrahan. Another pop up, but this one going to reach the seats. Cardinals are leading at home to the Houston Astros 3-2. Albert Pujols, it is 26th of the year. That lead holds, and this one does. The Reds will remain a half game back of the Cardinals in the Central. Stays 2-2. His former club, the Dodgers, have lost 5 in a row. Delwyn Young traded over last year from the Dodgers. Dodgers are in 4th place in the West, 8 games back of the Padres. The Giants a game and a half back, and Colorado 7 behind. Those Rockies will come to town starting Thursday night here to get a 4-game series, and a nice at bat from Delwyn Young there.
Well, how was Mr. Tracy when you went out to see him in Denver?
Very animated. This club was in the middle of a losing streak, but it was staying positive. Pirates won the first 2 games of that series. The Rockies had lost 8 in a row. And
then Mr. Ubaldo Jimenez did his work.
Yep.
That was was the afternoon game on getaway day.
Yeah, and then the Pirates swept in St. Louis, so the Bucks have lost 4 in a row after that nice start to the road trip. McCutchen 0 for 3. Talked about Arthur Rhodes, the veteran who made an all-star team for the first time this year.
Currently a non-save situation. Cordero has 29 on the year. Used to be when we saw Russ Springer, he would have 75 to 80% sliders. Now he seems to be mixing in a 90-mile-an-hour fastball a little bit more.
That inside the park home run, by the way, by Heisey moments ago, second in the history of PNC Park. First was Jack Wilson, July 2nd, 2004, against the Brewers' Brooks Kieschnick. And Springer strikes out McCutchen. Pirates lead 1, and they're being blanked 4-zip.
Sunday, second stint this year with the Pirates. We said the second lefty currently in the Pirate bullpen. Ledesma acquitted himself very well. A couple of scoreless innings earlier, and now Justin Thomas will work to the 9-1-2 spots in the Cincinnati batting order. 4-0 Cincinnati. It's been all Reds, minimal offense by the Reds, but nothing for the Pirates. And Travis Wood with 7 shutout innings in line to pick up his second win, his second major league win, his second major league win in a row.
Drew Stubbs in on to play center in the bottom of the 8th. 15,172 on hand tonight for the first game of the series. Tomorrow it's Paul Mahallam, 6-9. He'll be opposed by Mike Leake. Mahallam looking for a bounce back start. There's talk about Mahallam maybe being dealt. The latest word was that had the Dodgers not landed Ted Lilly, they would have gone hard after Paul Mahallam.
Dealing with that old theory, so many of the potential trades you hear about don't happen. Some of the ones you don't have any idea of.
And a lot do. Roy Oswalt was going to be dealt. He was dealt. And
yeah.
I mean, heck, you could. Berkman was going to be dealt. He was traded. Lilly traded. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout. Justin Thomas, the Youngstown State University product.
Such a strange year for the Cubs with Zambrano's meltdown, Ted Lilly going. Lou is going to retire. By the way, just to go back, way back, we were talking about pitchers that had trouble throwing the ball back, or catchers throwing the ball back to the pitcher. Salamiakia having trouble with that. Mackie Sasser, but one of the first guys was Johnny Edwards, catcher for the Cincinnati Reds. And I played against him, and it was painful to watch. He would catch the ball from the pitcher, pitch. He would walk 5 steps out in front of home plate, start backing up, stepping backward, and throw on his way back to his position back at home plate. Johnny Edwards. And he had a good major league career. Johnny Edwards was a good major leaguer.
McDonald will start on Thursday. He's getting a side session in, along with Daniel McCutcheon, who's now out of the bullpen. And a liner to right field for Brandon Phillips. He is on base for the 4th time. 2 hits, 2 walks. Logan Ondrasek joins Arthur Rhodes in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. We told you earlier that since the All-Star break, the Reds have the lowest bullpen ERA in the league.
And the luxury when your starter goes 7 innings.
Toward the seats. Maybe out of play. I'm just trying to look more about Johnny Edwards, the guy you mentioned that had trouble throwing the ball back to the pitcher. He's a Gold Glove winner.
Does it mention his
63 and 64?
There?
Led National League catchers in fielding percentage 4 times, 63, 69, 70, and 71. Led the league 4 times in assists. And during off seasons, while with the Reds, Johnny Edwards worked as an engineer by General Electric in research and development for nuclear fuel elements.
Scary. Think that didn't drive him crazy then, not being able to throw the ball back correctly?
Pass left side. Rose quick toss. And Cabrera is hurt.
Side.
Orlando Cabrera has all the makings of that oblique strain. He is in pain. He's not able to run that ball out, so it's an easy double play. That would be significant for the Reds.
Yep, pull that back or side.
4-0 Cincinnati. Exactly what it was, but it did look like he pulled a muscle there to the side. That at times over the years can cost, especially position players, a lot of time. He is in some kind of pain. Cabrera has been a great addition, as we said, to this team, providing solid defense, timely hitting. What a year for now All-Star Arthur Rhodes. Another lefty made it to the All-Star game for the first time in his career, and you can understand it with those numbers.
Yep. Almost averaging a strikeout per inning.
He's been with a number of teams. He'll draw his son's initials in the dirt there on the side of the mound. His son Jordan, who passed away at the age of 5 2 years ago. And he writes JR on the side of the mound every time he makes an appearance. Obviously, a very emotional All-Star game appearance for him. 19 years, 8 teams in his big league career. Tabata 0 for 3. And a fly ball to right. Another put out. Check out Toyota moving forward, the road ahead. Brought to you by your Western Pennsylvania Toyota dealers. Tomorrow, 6:30 airtime here on FSN for Game 2 of the series. Wednesday, noon, the matinee special. Pirates and Reds on FSN, and then the 4-game series against the Rockies. Don't forget FSN T-shirts given away to all fans Thursday night. Andrew McCutchen bobbleheads on Friday. Saturday night against the Rockies, George Thorogood, and Sunday Kids batting helmets given away to all fans. We'll have them all for you here on FSN Pittsburgh. As Neil Walker takes ball 1. Pirates down 4-0. Walker 1 for 3. Pirates were shut out in 10 innings on Friday. Scored 1 run against the Cardinals on Saturday. 1 run yesterday and nothing tonight. The 9 putouts for Jay Bruce, by the way. The National League record for right field putouts in a game is 10. Last done by Raul Mondesi in 1995. So now, Steve, if there's a pop-up to shallow right, Phillips goes out.
You got to call him off.
You got to knock him down if you have to.
Yep. So if that last hit for a cycle, you go for it.
Bounce to deep third, rolling, and over to first, picked by Cairo. Nicely done. The HGH Sports Medicine post-game show coming up, but injury update on Steve Pearce. He is scheduled to have surgery on his left knee on Wednesday. They tried to go through it without the surgery. That plasma replacement will be performed by Dr. DeMeo at the Allegheny General Hospital. But the surgery will take place now. Pirates and Pearce hoping to avoid surgery. Jones 0 for 3. Sometimes that platelet-rich plasma replacement has worked. It's been kind of in vogue over the past couple of years in sports, and Steve Pearce and the Pirates were hoping to avoid surgery. That's a tough blow for him. Looked as though he's going to have an opportunity, and did for a while, playing first base. Started to get it going a little bit, the bat, and then was injured. 0-2 the count. Fly ball to left center field. Heisey and the Reds have 3 hit the Pittsburgh Pirates. Travis Wood, Russ Springer, and Arthur Rhodes, and Travis Wood, 2 hits in 7 innings.
Pretty impressive, as advertised. As really was quite comfortable for the Reds, to be honest. Not too many difficult outs, and the Pirates went down 1, 2, 3, and 6 out of the 9 innings.
The Bucks have scored now in the last 4 games a total of 2 runs. Dusty Baker's club blanks the Pirates. Ross Ollendorf falls to 1-9. He went 5, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits with 4 walks, hit a batter. And so the Reds are now 7-4 against the Pirates this year. The Bucks have lost 5 in a row. Our next telecast of Pirates baseball tomorrow, right here at PNC Park, Game 2 of the series. Mike Leake, the rookie, is 7-2 for the Reds. Paul Mahalem 6-9. Trib Total Media Pirates pregame starts with our coverage at 6:30. Tim Neverett, Bob Walk have the call at 7 right here on FSN Pittsburgh, bringing the game to you. Once again, our final score 4-zip. Cincy